Imagine an electric car capable of running over 2 million miles without ever needing a battery replacement. Sounds like science fiction, right? But it's not. Tesla and other tech giants are pushing forward with something that could completely change the game: graphene-aluminum batteries. And here's a detail that makes a lot of people's eyes widen. These batteries promise an energy density 5 times greater than traditional lithium-ion ones. That means more range, fewer charging stops, and, most surprising of all, a potential lifespan of up to 200 years. Yes, you read that right. A battery that could outlast many buildings. And the best part? No worries about overheating or explosions. The secret lies in graphene, a material that's practically the superhero of engineering. It's lightweight, incredibly strong, and conducts electricity like nothing else. When combined with aluminum, it forms a powerful duo that completely rewrites the battery rulebook. First, it eliminates the need for complex cooling systems. These batteries simply don't overheat like the others. Second, this structure allows for much greater energy efficiency. And here's where the magic happens: cars that run for hundreds of thousands of miles without performance loss. These batteries are also masters of efficiency. They can convert up to 98% of stored energy into usable power, an absurd figure considering how much is usually lost in traditional batteries. Another highlight is that they maintain this level of efficiency even after thousands of charge and discharge cycles. While lithium-ion batteries typically start degrading after the 500th cycle, graphene-aluminum ones remain strong beyond 20,000. That completely changes the durability game. And in a market where battery trust is still a concern, this could be the ultimate game changer. Now think about it. What does a battery with such a long life really mean? Beyond the direct impact on your wallet, fewer replacements mean fewer expenses. There's also an enormous environmental implication. Less electronic waste, less mining for new batteries, and more useful life per energy cell produced. It's no wonder this technology is grabbing the attention of not only automakers, but also investors focused on sustainability and global energy efficiency. Another advantage that doesn't get talked about enough, but has major weight, is space gain. Since these batteries don't need bulky cooling systems, a vehicle's internal volume can be better utilized. That opens up opportunities for smarter design, larger trunks, or even more energy cells packed in the same space, boosting range even further. It's like giving the car a new heart, one that beats harder, longer, and takes up less room. And in an industry where every inch matters, that's a revolution. Anyone who's driven an electric car knows how crucial charging time and battery life are. And even those who haven't joined the electric wave yet, but are considering it, probably run into those doubts. What if the battery dies early? What if the car becomes obsolete too soon? Well, with these new batteries, those questions start to lose meaning. The proposal is clear: build something that lasts not just years, but decades, covering distances that once seemed impossible without a single replacement. While graphene and aluminum steal the spotlight, other materials are also entering the race for more efficient, lighter, and more affordable batteries. One of them is sulfur. Yes, the same element we associate with the smell of burnt matches is being studied as an extremely promising alternative. Lithium-sulfur batteries promise not only greater range, but also much lower production costs, since sulfur is abundant and cheap. The real breakthrough lies in their energy density, which is higher than that of lithium-ion batteries, allowing for smaller, lighter batteries with more energy stored per cell. And when we talk about weight, it's impossible to ignore the impact it has on electric vehicles. A vehicle with a lighter battery consumes less energy to move. That means, even with the same amount of charge, it can go further. It's like replacing a backpack full of rocks with a bag of cotton. The motor is thankful, and so is the driver. On top of that, this lightweight quality makes it easier to implement in new vehicle designs, including drones, electric planes, and even city buses that require robust batteries without compromising on weight and space. Here comes graphene again, now paired with another powerful element, aluminum. This combo is envied by any current configuration. Aluminum graphene batteries are turning heads not only for their durability, but for a characteristic that sounds almost magical. They can be fully charged in just 1 minute. That's right, 1 minute. While many drivers still spend hours at charging stations, this new generation of batteries could completely transform the experience, as fast as refueling a gas-powered car. This ultra-fast charging is possible thanks to graphene's microscopic structure, which allows ions to move much more quickly. And that changes everything, especially for people living in big cities or relying heavily on their cars. Instead of planning long charging stops or having to install a high-powered charger at home, drivers gain freedom. Imagine someone charging their car while having a cup of coffee. That's no longer a distant dream. There are already prototypes running and being tested in real vehicles. Another fascinating aspect is safety. Sulfur, for instance, is not flammable like the compounds used in traditional batteries. And aluminum, aside from being light and strong, is one of the most recyclable materials in the world. In some of these new batteries, over 90% of the aluminum can be reused, which is great for both the wallet and the planet. Not to mention that the manufacturing process of these batteries produces hydrogen as a byproduct, which can be used in other mobility applications. It's like hitting 3 targets with 1 arrow. With all these advancements happening simultaneously, an idea that once seemed distant is now taking shape right before our eyes. Electric cars not only consuming energy, but also giving energy back to the grid. It's as if each vehicle becomes a mobile mini power plant. This technology has a name, V2G, or vehicle to grid. The concept is simple but powerful. Instead of just charging and driving, a parked car can serve as a giant battery, returning energy to the grid when it's most needed. And let's be honest, this has the potential to completely change how energy is consumed around the world. Imagine a cold night with high demand for electric heaters. The power grid becomes overloaded. Now, picture millions of electric cars plugged into outlets, feeding back some of the energy they store during the day. They become silent allies of the system. It's not just about saving money. It's about energy efficiency, balancing consumption during peak hours, and supporting the grid without activating additional power plants, which are often fossil fuel-based. V2G turns each car into part of the solution. What's even better is that this technology doesn't require anything extravagant to work. All it takes is smart software and control systems that know the right time to pull or return energy. The car itself decides whether it has enough extra charge to help the grid, and the driver, of course, can choose whether or not to participate. In return, they get benefits. In some countries, EV owners are already being paid to supply energy back, creating a new form of passive income, literally by just parking their car at home. This logic becomes even more compelling when you think about entire fleets. Imagine a company with hundreds of electric vehicles parked overnight, all returning energy to the grid. The gains can be significant, both financially and environmentally. It's like multiplying the efficiency of the power grid without building a single new power line. The best part? It all uses existing infrastructure, the vehicles and charging stations already in place. A revolution built on what's already circulating. And it doesn't stop there. V2G fits perfectly with the growth of renewable energy sources. You know that dilemma where the sun only shines during the day and the wind blows when it wants to? Well, electric cars can store the excess energy produced during those times and return it at night or when the wind dies down. This makes the system more predictable and less dependent on weather fluctuations. It's as if cars are becoming the missing link between energy production and the smart consumption of clean power. At this point in the conversation, the most natural question might be, okay, all of this is impressive, but what about the safety of these new batteries? After all, with so much advancement, you'd expect the technology to be better prepared to avoid the old issues: fires, explosions, toxic leaks. And the good news is, yes, this is precisely one of the fields that has evolved the most in recent years. The batteries now hitting the market, especially those made with graphene and new electrolytes, are leaving behind the biggest fears of electrification. Leading this shift are companies like Nanotech Energy, which have already introduced batteries that simply don't catch fire. It might sound like an exaggeration, but anyone who's heard of electric cars exploding due to overheating knows how real that concern was. All because of flammable electrolytes used in lithium-ion batteries. Now, with the introduction of safer, less reactive materials, the game changes entirely. Nanotech, for example, has developed an electrolyte called organolyte, which is fireproof and functions under extreme temperatures. It's the kind of innovation we barely notice day to day, but it makes a huge difference when it comes to trusting the car sitting in your garage. Another factor transforming this new generation of batteries is sustainability. Lithium-ion batteries, besides being flammable, are hard to recycle and carry a heavy environmental footprint. Graphene and aluminum batteries, however, are much cleaner from production to disposal. Aluminum, for instance, can be recycled with incredibly high efficiency. In some cases, over 90%. That means less mining, less electronic waste, and a far more responsible life cycle. Not to mention that producing these batteries generates hydrogen as a byproduct, which can be used in other energy applications. There's also the issue of degradation. Many people still believe electric car batteries wear out quickly, but that's becoming outdated. The newest models support thousands of charge and discharge cycles without losing performance. In practical terms, you can imagine batteries that last over 10 years still operating at 80% of their original capacity. And what's most interesting is that this durability goes beyond the technology itself. It changes how people relate to their cars. The idea that something will die in just a few years no longer applies. And when durability increases, the financial impact changes too. Buying an electric car stops being a risky investment and becomes a smart long-term decision. With less maintenance, fewer failure risks, and a battery that lasts over a decade, the cost-benefit ratio improves significantly. Not to mention resale value, which becomes more attractive when buyers realize the battery still has a long way to go. It creates a self-sustaining cycle. More safety generates more trust, which drives demand, which brings more investment. Safety and durability are amazing, of course, but what about charging time? That's still the Achilles heel for many people who haven't switched from combustion engines to electric. But that too is changing, and fast. The most modern batteries like graphene-aluminum and lithium-sulfur are reaching charging speeds so short they sound like fiction. Some can hit 80% charge in under 8 minutes. Others, still in testing, promise full charges in less than 2 minutes. This is the kind of breakthrough that completely reshapes a driver's routine. After all, waiting 40 minutes or more at a public station is very different from charging in the time it takes to drink a coffee. The secret lies in the internal design of these batteries and how the ions move. Graphene, for example, has a massive surface area on an atomic scale, which allows lithium or aluminum ions to spread and move much more quickly. It's like going from a single-lane road to a 20-lane highway. This allows ultra-efficient recharging without compromising the battery's integrity. And the most impressive part? These batteries can do this thousands of times without losing performance. So they're not just fast, they're fast and long-lasting at the same time. And of course, when we talk about efficiency, it's not just about how fast they charge. Energy conversion also matters. Traditional batteries lose a significant portion of energy through heat dissipation, internal resistance, and other factors. But graphene-based batteries can convert up to 98% of the energy received into usable energy. That means less waste and more real-world range. It's no use if your dashboard shows 100% if a big chunk of that is lost. And these new chemical structures solve that problem beautifully. One indirect benefit is the environmental impact. With fewer losses and higher efficiency, the need for energy generation decreases. Imagine millions of cars being charged by solar systems, with nearly complete conversion of clean energy into actual motion. That's one of the most promising aspects of combining high efficiency with renewable energy. Cars stop being mere consumers and start becoming system optimizers. And when you pair that with V2G, mentioned earlier, the synergy is nothing short of extraordinary. Another practical outcome of this efficiency is the reduction in operating costs. Less wasted energy means less money spent per mile driven. And more, fast charging eliminates the need for large amounts of stored energy sitting idle. In fleets, this means much higher vehicle turnover and fewer units left charging for long periods. An electric taxi that recharges in 5 minutes can do more rides per day than one that needs an hour at the charger. In the end, that means more profit and convenience. While all of this is happening behind the scenes in battery engineering, there's one company that always seems to be 2 steps ahead: Tesla. When it comes to energy, it's safe to say that Elon Musk's brand doesn't mess around. From the early days of the Roadster to its most recent launches, Tesla has been the beating heart of the transition toward cleaner mobility. But what many people still don't realize is that beyond just making cars, Tesla is building a truly global energy infrastructure, and graphene batteries are a key piece of this much bigger plan. Tesla's famous gigafactories aren't just massive in size. They're designed to scale battery production to levels the industry has never seen before. And it's inside these factories that the magic happens. New chemistries, new cell architectures, durability testing, and now, breakthroughs using materials like graphene. The logic is simple. If Tesla wants to build millions of next-generation cars each year, it needs full control over every step of the process. From raw materials to the finished vehicle, everything must be under the company's roof. And it is. Another project that reflects this broader vision is the Powerwall, aimed at residential use. Many see it as just a home battery, but in practice, it's much more. It allows families to store solar energy during the day and use it at night, or even sell the surplus. When combined with Tesla cars and V2G technology, it forms a decentralized energy grid. Every house, every car becomes a node in this intelligent system. And graphene batteries, lighter, longer lasting, and safer, will give this network even more power and flexibility. Then there are the megapacks designed for large-scale operations. Think supermarket chains, factories, or even entire cities. The goal here is to replace diesel power plants with modular energy storage blocks. These units can store energy during low-demand periods or when there's a surplus of solar and wind power, then release it at night or during emergencies. What's interesting is that graphene could make these megapacks even more efficient, reducing weight, increasing durability, and improving real-time power delivery. Of course, there's a very strategic reason behind all this. Elon Musk has already stated that Tesla's ultimate goal isn't just to sell cars, but to accelerate the world's transition to sustainable energy. It may sound like a sci-fi movie plot, but it's already happening. And the proof is in the partnerships, investments, and prototypes constantly being unveiled. Tesla is internally testing new generation cells in its Model S and Model 3, and there are rumors that the Cybertruck could debut with an experimental battery that combines graphene with lithium. At this point, there's no doubt we're witnessing a true revolution in the automotive sector. But here's a detail many haven't noticed. This revolution isn't happening in one company or country alone. It's a global race. On one side, Tesla leads with its gigafactories and increasingly daring battery innovations. On the other, names like BYD, CATL, GMG, and even MIT are turning up the heat with breakthroughs that, just a few years ago, would have sounded like pure science fiction. The entire world is now in a race for cleaner, cheaper, and more powerful batteries, and the real winners are all of us. Take BYD, for example. This Chinese company keeps growing, investing in solutions that combine energy efficiency with lower costs. They've already launched models with batteries that can surpass 1 million miles of lifespan. In addition, they're heavily investing in sodium batteries and new generations of lithium iron phosphate, aiming to reduce the use of expensive materials like cobalt. CATL, meanwhile, is developing semi-solid and solid-state batteries focused on safety and extended range, all moving at a breakneck pace because no one wants to be left behind. In the West, GMG, Graphene Manufacturing Group, is executing an ambitious project, aluminum graphene batteries in pouch form, designed not only for cars but also for phones, laptops, drones, and even military equipment. The promise? High energy density, ultra-fast charging, and over 2,000 cycles of durability with minimal performance loss. And the most impressive part, these batteries are being designed to cost less than current ones. In other words, better performance at a lower price. Who wouldn't want that? MIT isn't sitting this one out either. A team of researchers there accidentally developed an aluminum sulfur battery with 6 times the storage capacity of a conventional lithium battery. And here's the craziest part. It can be fully charged in under a minute. That's right, 60 seconds. Discoveries like this show that research is more alive than ever. Innovation is coming from all directions, from promising startups to century-old institutions. What all these initiatives have in common is the goal of making electric cars not only more efficient, but truly accessible. Not long ago, buying an EV was a luxury. But with these new technologies, especially those using aluminum, sulfur, and graphene, production costs are falling fast. And that could open the doors for entry-level models, like the long-awaited Tesla Model 2, to hit the market for under $25,000, with plenty of range, fast charging, and durable batteries.